So we're excited to get back to Alabama, play in front of our home crowd. Thought we had a solid week in Vegas. Obviously, we'd have liked to come back 3-0, but that was a really good field of teams. Gonzaga's a really good team despite their showing against Michigan. I think they're going to win a lot of games this year. They exposed some stuff that we got to get better at. I thought we definitely got better out in Vegas, which is the whole point of playing these games in the non-conference, to expose some weaknesses, get better at them, so you're better off for it afterwards and better off coming into SEC play. So now we're moving into Clemson, and Clemson to me is a little bit underrated. I don't think they quite get the national recognition. Maybe it's what they deserve. If you look, I mean, they made it to an Elite Eight, and we were fortunate enough to beat them, but they had beat us earlier in that year. We've got a losing record to those guys since I've been here. They went 18-2 in the ACC last year. Over the last 3 years, it's the most wins over a 3-year stretch in program history. So Coach Brownell's been there a long time, and he's built it up to where it's one of the best programs in the ACC. And that's why we've got them. I mean, in this SEC ACC challenge, they're trying to put, since we've gotten here in the SEC, we've got more wins in the SEC than anybody else in the SEC, and that program's typically one of the best programs in the ACC over the last 5-6 years. So it's going to be a good game. So our interior play is going to have to get better. I thought Aiden made a big jump out in Vegas. I thought he played his best 3-game stretch maybe since he's been here. So he's continuing to get better, which is what we needed. On the injury front, Collins is still out. He's getting testing done by our medical staff that hopefully by the end of the week we got more answers and we'll have a better idea of what he's going to be able to do moving forward. So he's out for the game. Reitzel, Jaleel, and Keaton all saw the foot and ankle specialist. They all got lower leg injuries, and they're all basically day-to-day. So not sure if any of them will quite be ready for Clemson. We'll see. They were all in different aspects of practice today. Some a little bit more involved than others. We'll see where they're all at tomorrow. But we don't want to rush any of them back. Want to make sure they're healthy by time SEC play comes, and rushing guys back from injuries not the way to do that. So we'll see where those guys are at in the morning based on what they went through in practice today. Other than that, I mean, we just got to continue to get better. Our defense isn't quite where we want it to be yet. Offensively, ball's starting to move a little better. We're starting to score some points. We're starting to look a little bit better on that side of the ball. Defensively, I did think we played better against UNLV and Maryland, but Clemson's a lot better team, and we're going to have to play significantly better against them than we did in Vegas.
You mentioned it in your opening, but just what all did Aiden Sherrill show you in the week in Vegas, and what can he be for you going?
Yeah, I mean, he was a lot more explosive. I thought he played a lot more athletic. I thought he played harder. I don't know if he had been out with an injury for a while there in the fall. I don't know if he just was finally getting his legs back under him, his wind under him, but he was moving, explosive, rebounded, defended the post well. I mean, even the Gonzaga game. I mean, EK is one of the best bigs in the country. He started 0 for 6 against Aiden. So I think he proved we've got a low post defender that can guard pretty good post players one-on-one in there. But I also thought he was moving on offense and really showed some athleticism that we need out of him.
When Jaleel does get back, just what do you see him being able to do and kind of fitting into that rotation?
Yeah, I mean, he's been out a long time now. So, going back to where he was getting to the end of the summer, going into the fall, he can really shoot. He's super athletic. So, it gives us more depth in the backcourt. Very skilled offensive player. We're challenging him to get better defensively, get stronger. I think Henry's done a really good job with him while he's been out of getting stronger. It's easier to put weight on when you're not practicing every day burning all those calories up. So I think Henry and Amanda have done a really good job trying to change his body over, get a lot stronger so he can be a better defender. We need him to be significantly better on defense. And then he's also got to take care of the ball a little bit better. He's been a little bit, sometimes his decision-making needs some improvement. But, man, when he's got it going and playing in the open floor, like he's one of the more talented kids we've had come through here. So he can really shoot it. He can really score it. He can get downhill and play athletic. So, we want to make sure he's healthy before we put him out there. He's been out there doing some live stuff in practice the last couple of days. He's looked pretty good, but he's also rusty. He hasn't played basketball in a couple of months. So we got to make sure that he's playing where we need him to play before we put him back in there in the game.
Hey, Coach, without Ian Shefflin this year, having made the transition to football instead of basketball, how much does that take a headache out of the front court whenever you're scouting Clemson? And if you had to pick an Alabama basketball player that would be best at football, who would it be?
Yeah, I didn't even realize. So Ian's been on Clemson's football team this year. Has he been playing all right? What's he playing? What position? Has he got any catches? He's big, tough, physical. He's caused us some major problems inside. It's nice he's on the football team, not the basketball team. It's interesting. Like you follow the NFL closely. When I was in Buffalo, we had two MAC Player of the Years that both got multiple invites from different NFL teams. Javon McCray was the first one, and then Justin Moss, who actually played for me in high school too. But both of them turned all the NFL invites down to try to play overseas and stuff. But it's, you get these guys that, you look at some of the best tight ends in the history of the NFL. Antonio Gates played basketball in college at Kent State. Jimmy Graham. You kind of go down the list. Like I've heard it said, like all the best tight ends seem to be in the NBA. Well, some of them played basketball in college, and then we're the best tight ends in the NFL. So it's interesting, kind of guys that played both sports and can kind of make the transition. In the MAC, we had kid at Miami of Ohio, played 4 years of basketball, 1 year of football, and then played for the Packers in the defensive backfield for a while. So it's the Colts had a tight end that was a big for Western Michigan. There's lots of players that kind of played both and then went in the NFL and played. If there was one from our team right now, and I don't know, maybe Keaton Bristow, because he's kind of he's a little reckless in a good way. Like makes tough plays, gets in, he's not afraid of contact. He can, if you're talking about like the tight end types, if you're just talking about anywhere on the field, I don't know, LeBaron would probably be pretty dang good. I think he could probably play some D-back receiver somewhere out there. He's a pretty good athlete.
2 receptions, 10 yards for Shefflin so far.
2 receptions, so not a whole lot. But is this it then? This is his last year at college athletics?
I want to ask you about Aiden Holloway. He put some size on and strength on in the offseason. Do you think that's helping him more offensively where he can finish at the rim better, or is it helping him more defensively, do you think?
I think it helps both. And he definitely, Henry did a really good job, and Amanda, our dietitian, like between the two of them, they do a really good job turning guys' bodies over, and I think he's one of the better ones this offseason. I think it's significantly helped him on defense. He's able to stay in front of guys, put his chest on guys, not get kind of run through. But I think, like you said, like his kind of aggressive physical attacks on offense, getting to the paint. He's super skilled. When he gets in the paint, he's got great finishing package. He's stronger now, so he's able to get in the paint more. So I think it's helping him on both sides of the ball, and we just need him to continue to play, knowing that he's stronger, physical, can make physical plays on both sides of the ball. So I don't know if it's helped on one side or the other more, but you can see it for sure on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, the SEC went 14-2 in this challenge last year. Was that a moment where you realized that the SEC is better than maybe what you thought?
Yeah, no, for sure. The SEC had a really good start, non-conference last year, and then we get to this challenge, and the ACC traditionally has been one of the best college basketball conferences in the country. Shoot, when I grew up and was watching games as a kid on TV all the time, I mean, it's Carolina back with Dean Smith and Coach K and Duke. I mean, you know, and then you see some other programs. Virginia's been one of the best programs in the country with Tony Bennett. You know, they've had multiple teams that have been very good basketball schools. You had a school like Louisville who's top 10 this year. You know, they're still one of the best basketball conferences. So for us to go 14-2 on them, kind of like, wow, like it's not going to be easy in the SEC this year. Great in some sense, like, you know, really good basketball league that we've turned it into here in the SEC. But man, it's going to be tough. So, you know, I'm pulling for us to go 16-0. Don't know that that's going to happen. There's some really good games on tonight that I'll be interested to watch and see how we can do. But always pulling for the SEC teams. But yeah, the ACC's got some tough teams. There's going to be some tough games on tonight. I think we got Florida Duke and Carolina Kentucky. I think probably be the two big national games tonight that everybody should be tuned in on. There's a lot of other good games too.
Hey, Coach, back to Bristow. What kind of impact does he provide from a rebounding and physicality standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, he plays hard. I mean, he makes stuff happen. Comes in and gets the offensive glass, rebounds on the defensive end. I mean, those games when we've been killed on the boards have been games he hasn't been in. Like when he's played, we haven't got killed on the glass. I mean, he's a little bit of our answer for going and getting some rebound. I don't think we get beat by 24 on the glass to Purdue if he's playing now. You know, other guys got to step up, and I think some other guys have stepped up, but he certainly helps the rebounding deficiencies just because he plays so hard when he's in there.
First off, in the listing of football, basketball players, you forgot the Maranatha Baptist.
Yeah, I played both. My first year, I led the team in yards per catch on a very limited sample size, but we had a few long ones that distorted it out, some outliers and some deep ones. Yeah, way back in the day, it's a little bit harder to do it in Division I at a high major level than Division III. Maranatha dropped the football program; they don't even have it anymore. So my records are going to stand for a long time now. Nobody's going to beat them.
It's the fine print. You don't have to focus on that. But I did want to ask you about Aiden Holloway in terms of guys who have been like in the system a year, and then I mean, because Mark kind of had a similar breakout in his more time he got in the system. Like, is that expected kind of thing when? You know that he's a good fit or a guy's a good fit, but giving them just kind of that turning point of year two.
Yeah, I do think it helps because, you know, some of the guards, you know, we play a lot different than what a lot of places play. There's a lot more freedom. We want them to be way less robotic, more instinctual, and some of these guys that have been really good basketball players and then they don't quite understand, like they say they want to play in the freedom you give them, but it's also not open gym rec ball. Like there's structure to the freedom. So you got to learn when to attack, but we want you attacking every time possible when it's appropriate. So, you know, kind of learning the system, learning how aggressive they can be, learning how free, if you will, but like I don't want to make it sound like they're just out there doing whatever they want because that's kind of what they got to learn. So I think learning all that, getting the confidence to play that way, us instilling the confidence, then having a whole year, all right, this is really what they're about, maybe seeing some older guys have some success in it, coming back, like knowing exactly what we want, starting in June, like all summer and fall, and I think Aiden's super talented. He understood, like, shoot, he had the one game he took 19 threes, but shoot, I'm fine with him taking even more. I thought he passed up 3 open ones that game. So, like, but then, you know, then he comes in and he had the game against Gonzaga where maybe he took too many contested ones. Like, as long as you're open, shoot it every time you're open. But, like, you got to understand, like, depending on how teams are going to guard you, some games that may be 23s for him, which would be great. He's one of the best shooters in the country. Some games you may get 10, 12, 15 assists because of the way they're guarding you. So I think he got it figured out pretty well. Second year in the program, he really knows what we want. We got a lot better, chemistry with, head coach to point guard, him with his assistants, him kind of being little vet, you look at our backcourt now, like the three guys that are handling the ball most of the time are him, LeBaron, and Amari. Well, him and LeBaron are the only two they have, and they both got 1 year experience under their belt. So until we get Charlie back, Biz and LeBaron are the two most experienced guards we have in the program handling the ball. So there's that point where he's got some experience that other guys don't have, and he's playing like he's got that experience. So now he's been playing really well here lately for us. Shoot, he's 10 of 13 the last 2 games from 3. So hopefully we can continue him making the right decisions, getting open shots, and shooting it at a pretty high level like we know he's capable of. All right, appreciate you guys.